What's up guys, it's Trevor and I just got back from a very exciting trip from Austin, Texas. So this video is going to be kind of me just like showing the trip. I didn't really vlog it traditionally. I didn't like have my camera and I wasn't just like, hey guys, I'm here at the Austin Convention Center. No, I just kind of like filmed different parts of my trip and took pictures, of course, but I didn't actually like vlog it. I didn't directly talk to the camera, so I guess this is my way of showing my trip. So basically this is going to be like my getting off social media video, but instead of me talking about that, I'm going to be talking about my trip, and then I'm just going to like post up pictures of like the trip actually happening. So now that I got that out of the way, so our trip started on August 1st, 2018, this year, at 4:30 a.m. I know, that's crazy. We woke up at 4:30 and it took us about an hour to get out of the house, get all packed up and ready to go. We ended up leaving about 5 a.m. If I keep looking down, it's because I'm looking at my little notebook where I got all my ideas at. But anyways, we started leaving about 5:30, 5:20, and it's a 12-hour ride from Kansas City to Austin, Texas. So it was a long, super boring ride. So basically in Kansas there's nothing but grass and fields, and in Oklahoma it's the same thing. The most exciting thing I would say I saw was probably like a couple windmills. There was a lot of windmills in Kansas actually. In the turnpike going down to Oklahoma, there's just like fields and fields of windmills, and it's crazy, but I mean, gotta get power somehow, am I right? But like I said, once we got to Oklahoma, it was basically the same thing, but they had like actual stops to take pictures at these windmills. I'll pop a picture now somewhere. I don't know the framing. I'm using a different camera, but we took a picture there and then we just kept driving. About lunchtime we kind of got hungry, so we ate at this Happy Days diner. It's based off the TV show, but it really wasn't in a way. Like there's pictures of like the fonts and stuff, but mainly are just like pictures of Elvis in like the 50s. Like there's a bunch of cool cars, there's a bunch of like Chevy stuff outside. A diner, it had some pretty good food, I'm not gonna lie. It was just like a normal cheeseburger and stuff, and just like diner food, you know. After we ate there, we left and we continued going down to Austin, and we went through OKC and we got to see all that stuff down there. We finally made it through Texas. That was like such a relief once we crossed the state line. Like it was such a long drive and it was just so boring, but like we saw another 4 or 5 hours once we got to like the state line of Texas. So we kept driving through. We went through Fort Worth. I really wanted to go through Dallas to see all that stuff, but we went through Fort Worth. We saw the Baylor campus. We just drove through it, and that was pretty cool. We kept driving, and once we made it to Austin, Texas, our hotel was like in the like in between space between Austin and Round Rock. If you don't know, there's this place called Round Rock, and like the order it goes is like Round Rock, Austin's right here, and then San Antonio's right here. So it's just like a straight shot all the way down 35. But our hotel was like in between Austin and then Round Rock. So there was like an always constant drive whenever we would go to like the convention center, or if we went down to the campus or something. There was always a long drive. It was at least 20 minutes every time we went back to the hotel. But I mean, it wasn't bad. The only time it ever got bad was like whenever traffic was hitting harder. Like if it was rush hour, no way. It took so long because like the traffic down there is pretty crazy, you know. Like Austin's a very booming town right now, and there's so many like people coming in because it's one of the fastest growing cities in the nation. But there's just so much traffic, everyone leaving downtown to get back to their houses, and if you get stuck in that, it takes you a while. I mean, it flows pretty well, and it's not like annoying like where I live, because if you get stuck in a rush hour, I feel like there's always just people honking. But down in Texas, I only got honked at once, and it was like pretty shocking to hear it because everyone's like super nice down there, and it's like whenever we went down there, it's like the whole mood changed. Like it feels just like Missouri, but like different, where everyone's nicer, you know. Like people would open the door for you, people would do like all this other stuff. They would like ask if you needed help. Like I remember when we went to the campus, we were walking around with the map, and like this lady went up to us and was like, hey, do you guys need help? And then you were like, yeah, which way is Guadalupe Street? And she pointed us in the right direction, and it was like super cool to get there. But once we made it to our hotel, we bunked up. I slept on this super uncomfortable fold-out couch bed, and it was just like it was so bad. Whenever you like lay down on it, you can feel the bars like on your back, and it's just like really uncomfortable. So I had to suffer that for 4 nights, and I think that's the end of our day 1. So for day 2, we started at 7 a.m. I had a college tour at 9 a.m. and I had to attend. So we got up, ate breakfast at the hotel, and then left to go down to the UT campus. By the way, that campus is really nice. But we went down there and I took a tour of the 400 plus acre campus. The tour guide told me about all the like different classes and opportunities they have there, and I'm really considering it. The school down there is pretty cool, and then they have the film school I'm really interested in. So hopefully I can look at that. I'm going to be looking at some other colleges too, so I don't really know where I'm going yet. But that's definitely a big opportunity and big place I can go. Throughout the college tour, we went to like a bunch of cool places. Like we went to their like UT tower, like the tower you see everywhere. Like if you watch sports, you see it, of course, like in the B-roll in between the games. But you know the tower. And a little known fact, there's a clear path between the tower and the Capitol building. And also, like at one point, people weren't allowed to build higher than the Capitol building, which is ironic because when you go down there now, it's just like boom, skyscrapers everywhere. Everything's taller than the Capitol building. But that used to be like a law, and then they changed it once UT's like tower they made was like a foot shorter, but they put it on a hill, so it appeared taller. So like that changed it. But it was pretty cool because from the campus, or from the tower, you can look straight over to the Capitol and see everything, and that's just like super cool. After the college visit and we checked out everything on campus, we went shopping. I got some shirts at the co-op. It was just like a UT shirt, and then a tank top, of course, you know, because it's summertime. But but after that, after we went shopping, go to Loop Street, which is like the main street between the campus and then like all the stores. We just went shopping, and then we went to the football stadium. We had to check that out. I took a couple of awkward pictures there. By the way, all these pictures that you're going to see of me is just going to be me like standing with my arms down, looking super awkward because I don't know how to take pictures. But I took a couple pictures there, and then we got to drive around. Then we also went to downtown, and we got to check everything out. We went to a very special place, a place that holds very dear to my heart. It's in a RTAA, or a Rooster Teeth Animated Adventure. It's also on one of the Rooster Teeth podcasts, but we went to Ken's Donuts. Yes, we went to the Ken's Donuts. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll put up a little clip right now.
Near the UT campus is a place called Ken's Donuts.
Yeah.
It is a 24-hour donut shop.
So good.
We mentioned Ken's Donuts, and all of a sudden, like, passed out Trey goes,
and then I'll just maybe link them. This video will probably get taken down because of the copyright, but who cares? If you don't know, then you know now. But it was pretty cool to see Ken's Donuts in real life. And then while we were downtown, we also got to see the old 636 Rooster Teeth office. That was pretty cool. It's one of the offices that I vividly remember from watching like the RT Lives and stuff and all their videos. But when I see that office, I got to take some cool pictures. And hey guys, so two things. I might sound weird. I just got back from the dentist. This is the next day, by the way. But I just got back from the dentist, and my mouth's a little numb. But while I was editing this, I noticed that like midway through the video, about like I'd say about maybe like 10 minutes through, my video kind of just cut out. Like my video just wasn't there, but I was recording audio separately, so luckily I got all the audio still. But I didn't want to re-film everything because that would have been a lot of work, you know. So what I just did is I made some pretty good drawings, as you can see, or as you will see. I don't know where I'm going to put this in the video, but it's probably right before this black section. But yeah, that's just a little explanation why it goes into like Trev cartoon mode, where you get to see the best quality cartoons of your life. I'll probably not ever make another cartoon video like that, but hope you guys enjoy the rest of the video. If you can bear it through it. It's only like an 8-minute section, so once you get through the cartoons, then you'll get the rest of the video. But I'm talking too long, so that was the end of day 2, and the start of day 3 was basically the big day for RTX. It was the intro day, so it was kind of like boring, but there was like a lot of cool stuff, and it was my first RTX I've ever been to. If you don't know what RTX means, it's the Rooster Teeth Expo. But basically, Rooster Teeth is an online company, and they make videos and stuff, and you should definitely check them out if you've never seen them. I've grown up watching them, so I love their content, and hence why I went to the RTX. I also wanted to meet a lot of the community, and especially meet the cast and the people that started Rooster Teeth, and just see like these people in real life, especially these people I've been watching for years of my life and seeing them like every day. It was super cool seeing them in real life, and I'll pop up some pictures whenever I mention them later. Like I said, my day started at 10 a.m. The first panel I wanted to check out was at like noon or so we had like 2 hours to get down to the Austin Convention Center, so we gave us enough time to eat breakfast, go down there, and then like see where everything was at, where to park, and like just see the convention center and like all the other places there were, because there's like 2 hotels you could have gone to. But we went to the Austin Convention Center. That was pretty cool to see. I remember we were driving down and I just see a bunch of people with like the black RTX bags. I'll pop one up pretty soon. We walked into the convention center, and then I got to take a picture at their new Bendy like game. It was like a little picture booth thing they had, and once again, it's another one of my awkward poses. But I got to check out that game. That game looks pretty cool. Going back through, once we actually walked into the exhibition hall, we waited in line for about 30 minutes. There's this like large hallway. It's not really a hall. It's hard to describe. I'll show up a picture. But it's like this big room almost. And inside this big room, there had all these like little lines on the floor. It was like 1 through 20 or something. And it was like to fill lines where people can line up for these events that were happening. But I waited in line. My dad and I waited in line for about 30 minutes. And we were just waiting to get into the actual convention hall, where you can just like buy stuff and check out all the cosplay and stuff. So we waited about 30 minutes in line. We met some people that were standing behind us. I'm gonna sound like a super bad person, but I don't remember their names, but I just know they were really cool. We were talking to them, and like they were basically the first people from the community that I talked to in person, and we just like talked about what we watched and then their experiences. It was kind of cool hearing about their life and like how they got down there, because like they're kids maybe a little bit older than me, but they just made a road trip down from Nebraska, and then they drove down there, slept in their car a couple nights, and it was just really cool to see that. Once they let us into the convention hall, my dad bought them lunch. We all got slices of pizza, and then we shook our hands and said peace out. But anyways, it was cool seeing them. Keep them on your mind, because you'll definitely hear about them later. But after we met them, we just walked around, and then I got to see the Outlaws, the professional like Overwatch team. I think that's what they were. But I got to see them play a little bit. They had their own little booth, and it was cool seeing them. It's insane thinking about how esports is becoming like a real thing. Like seeing them on ESPN and stuff. It's wild to me to think that video games is now actually an obtainable sport that you can do. But anyways, after we saw the Outlaws, we got to see Sugar Pine 7. They were playing Fortnite. I just stopped by their little like thing and I watched them play a little bit, and that was pretty cool. And then the rest of my day, basically the convention, was going to 3 different panels. The first panel I went to was the careers in digital media, and that one was like interesting, but it was really boring. Basically there's a professor and her ex-students, and they were talking about how like what you can do with these career paths and like what degrees to get in college, and that was like okay, but I just found it a little boring because it's not like Rooster Teeth stuff. The second one we went to was the Achievement Hunter one, and that one was awesome because like I actually got to see how many other people love what I watching. No, it was cool seeing people like watching what I watch and enjoying themselves at the same time. It was very surreal to like for them to show up a clip and everyone just starts like clapping and going crazy. It was really cool to see that. But then the third panel we went to, it was the evolution of vlogging. That had Bernie Burns, Ellie Main, and then Steven Suptic in it, and that was pretty cool to hear because you just hear about all these other people vlogging, and we get to hear questions about it, and you just got to hear like their experiences and how like the struggle of vlogging is, and like why not to do daily vlogs because it just consumes your life. But it was pretty cool to hear about that. And then right afterwards, I was so shocked. We were leaving the Hilton, which is we were leaving the Fairview or Fairmont, whatever the hotel was. But we were leaving that. My dad points out, he was like, "Hey, that's that girl that was on the stage." And I was like, "Who?" And then he points her out, and then she looks up, and I'm like, "Yo, that's Ellie Main." And then I'm like, okay, I gotta take a picture with her. So I like grab my phone, I open the selfie app or the camera. I'm like, and then whenever like I got next to Ellie, like I had my phone out like this. I'm like, hey, you want to take a picture? But I didn't say that. Whatever came out of my mouth was more like, because like I was like super shocked to see her, and that was like crazy to see. But I got a picture with her. I probably already put it up on camera. But after that, that was basically the end of day 3 of the convention. Of course, I went back through and like shopped more, and then checked out all the other like booths they had out there. But that was basically it. So we went home, and then I hit the hay. I was super tired, and plus I knew that the next day would start pretty early. But yeah, that was basically day 3. So day 4 of my trip, but day 2 of RTX. It started at 7 a.m. Thinking about it, I woke up way too early, and I should have just slept in. But the first panel I wanted to go to was about at 10 a.m. But I knew like they would start queuing up at around 9. So what we did is we woke up at 7, ate breakfast, and then left about 8. No, I think we left even earlier. We got to the convention center at 8. I also took some pictures with Ruby cosplayers. I think it was just Yang and Ruby Rose, and I did my awkward pose again. You'll see a lot of that, but I got to take pictures with them. That was pretty cool seeing like people dress up as something that I've seen before. For day 2, we went to some more panels. The first panel we went to was the RT gym class, and that had Blaine Gibson. He's one of my idols. I really like him. John Reisinger, Tyler Coe, and this guy named Eddie. And it was just basically like their weight loss and how they've gone from like big to skinny. And it was just cool seeing their workout routines, how they diet, and basically how they live their lifestyle. That was the one panel my dad and I went to that my dad actually enjoyed, partially because like he got to meet them guys and I left early. So like at the end of the panel, we all like got up and we started leaving, and my dad, he just kind of stayed back, and I was like, what are you doing, Dad? And then I just kept going, and I waited outside, and my dad came out. He's like, yo, I just got to meet Tyler and Blaine. I was like, what? What's going on? What happened? Oh, my camera died. My camera's about to die, so the next shot you'll see will probably be in like a different spot. Like the camera's probably not going to be aligned here because I need to take out the battery. So my dad got to meet Tyler and Blaine. I was like, whoa, what the heck? Why do you get to meet him, but I can't? Because I'm like the actual fan. He's just kind of like that guy that's like giving my parental like supervision. He's making sure I don't get kidnapped or whatever. He got to meet them. He said he got to talk to him and ask him a few questions, and that was super cool. It's like I was super jealous. But as we were leaving, I actually got to see John Reisinger, and I was like, yo, John, can we take a picture? And he was like, yeah, man. And I like brought out my camera. My dad took a picture with him, and that was super cool. It was wild to see them, and like honestly, I'm not gonna lie, he was a little smaller than I imagined. And the same thing with Blaine. I saw him, he was leaving the panel, and I saw him and I was like, yo, it's Blaine. And I was like trying to take a picture with him, but there's just a bunch of other people swarming him, so I was like, it's not worth it, you know, like I'll catch him later. And then after that panel, I went back into the actual convention part and waited in a line for about 20-30 minutes to see Ray. If you don't know Ray, he's also known as the Brown Man. He used to be a part of Achievement Hunter, but then he quit to do his own like twitching thing, but twitching as in like the live streaming program. On top of the picture, I also got a poster signed by him. That was pretty cool. It was a pretty cool poster too, I'm not gonna lie. But he gave me a Ray with a little heart because, you know, super cool guy. But I found it super ironic. I was standing in line and my dad comes up to me. He's like, Trevor, check this out. And he took a picture with Blaine. Like Blaine was like out in the convention hall with him, just walking around, and my dad's like, hey, you're that guy from that panel, and he just took a picture with him, and it's like, why couldn't that happen to me, you know? Like he's the one person I really want to take a picture with, but that's not how the cards played out. But we then waited for the RVB panel, the red versus blue panel. For my fans, the people watching this that aren't familiar with it, basically it's a machinima or a video created through the game of Halo, and it was pretty cool hearing that, and it's surreal seeing like Gus, Bernie, Matt, and then Miles and all these people in person. It was really cool, and it was just like a super fun thing to do. It was kind of a boring panel, so my dad and I kind of like left early to get some tacos. Or actually, not really. We left to go get some food. We walked up and down like the street that like the convention hall's on, and we found nothing that I could have gone into. Everywhere that you had to go, you had to be over 21 to get into. So I was just like kind of the sandbagger, you know what I'm saying? Like I was the person that was keeping my dad from eating. But there's this taco place that was like built into this hotel, and I was like, Dad, we should just go back there. I'm sure I can go in there. But as we were leaving, it happened to be like 2 o'clock or whenever the RVB panel ended, and when we were walking out, I was like, yo, that's Gus Sorolla, no way. And I saw him, and I was like kind of freaking out inside, and I was like, hey Gus, I know you don't like taking pictures, but can you take a picture with me? And he was like, yeah, man. And I took a picture with him, and he's like, hey, you guys have a good time at this convention. I was like, oh, it's cool to see him in real life and actually like being nice. I actually posted on Reddit, and someone was like, Gus seems unnaturally happy, and I'm just like, yeah, it's a bit strange to see him like that, but it was really cool seeing him nevertheless. Got to meet Gus, and then we went to this taco place called the Austin Taco Project or something like that. Those are probably some of the best tacos I've had in a while. They were A+. I went back into the convention hall. We checked out the Full Sail like booth. They had a Full Sail booth, and if you don't know what that is, it's like a film school down in Florida. But we checked out the booth. You had to like edit music. Like they had those like square pads that you can just like make dubstep or whatever music on it. You know, like the drum pads. But we had to play with that, and then like a crazy video editor that they have. As I was leaving that, I got to see Funhouse play the Outlaws. Once again, they were playing the professional team, and that was kind of cool to see. I mean, I'm not too into like the Overwatch community, so it didn't really matter to me. But it was kind of cool seeing them play. And then came the moment of my life, and the one I really wanted to go, like the main reason why I wanted to go to RTX, and I got to see the RT podcast live. Now that sounds super boring because it's like, oh, it's just podcast, they're talking, but like if you watch these people, you really get to know like about them, and then it's like super deep to like see them in person and stuff. But my dad and I we were walking around the convention. I was like, hey, we should probably leave early. We should probably get in line. There's going to be a lot of people in line for this podcast. My dad's like, don't worry about it. We'll be fine. I was like, okay. So we waited about an hour until like the podcast actually started. And I just remember walking out, and we were going to like get in line for the podcast. And like all the Guardians were like, yeah, the line's over there. And we walked out of like the exhibition hall, and we turned to the right, and we're just like astonished because there's a line that wraps all the way around the convention center. So we had to go all the way to the back, and then they like kind of fed us back into the hall 2, which is like that big room I was talking about at the very beginning. But we waited in line for like a good hour, maybe a little bit more, but they kind of just fed us around the convention center and then into that hall, and then we waited in there, and then they just brought all the lines through. And we got seated pretty far in the back. You can tell by this video that I'm going to pop up now that it was like super far in the back, and it's kind of lame, but it was still crazy to see these people in real life. And my dad looked so bored throughout the entire thing because, like, you know, he doesn't quite understand what was going on, and like they weren't talking about like the most like normal stuff ever. They're talking about like poop on the floor and stuff, and that was interesting. But nevertheless, it was funny being able to like sit in a room and people laughing at the same jokes that I laugh at, like the ones that all these people have been making and I've just found hilarious all my life. But it was fun to connect with all these people. There was, I think whenever we were walking in, like 2,200 people inside that room, and it was just cool seeing all these other people laughing at the same jokes that we were laughing at. But we actually left the podcast about 30 minutes before the podcast ended. We actually ended up leaving the podcast about 30 minutes early or so. And as we were leaving, this guy came out of the bathroom, and he's like, hey, what's up, man? You know, my dad and I turned around, and it's that one guy from the line, like that one guy we saw at the very beginning of the convention. And we just talked to them. We took a selfie with him, and he's like, yeah, I want to take a picture with you guys. You guys are going to be super cool, and this is just such a great story to tell, and I'm glad I can tell it too. But it was just like ironic that he was the first people that we talked to, or the first person that we talked to at the convention. He was also the last person we talked to. Like, it was just, that couldn't have ended in any other better way, and it was just funny to see that. That was the end of RTX, and to recap, I had such a fun time there. It was surreal seeing all these people in real life, seeing all these people I've looked up to all my life, and then being able to talk to them and see them in person. It's just it's a hard feeling to describe because it felt real, but it didn't feel like real life, you know. Like, you see these people and it's just like they're normal people, but at the same time they're very popular. The Rooster Teeth channel on YouTube almost has 10 million subscribers, and it's like these people that I saw in real life are people that millions of other people see like almost on a daily basis, and it was just super cool to see that. Then after RTX, after that, we went to this place called the Oasis. It's like some fancy like restaurant, and it was really cool scenery. I'll pop up some pictures right now, but basically it was like on Lake Travis, the like lake they have there in Austin. It was pretty cool, and I don't know, we waited like an hour in line to get our food there, and the service wasn't too good. They were very slow, but like I didn't think the food was too bad. It was pretty good. I had some enchiladas, but it was really cool seeing like the ocean, and then it was about golden hour, so there's just like really pretty to see the lake. But after that, we went to our hotel, kind of packed up before we actually had to leave for the night, and we hit the hay. So then the last day we kind of just packed up, got up and left, and then we endured another 12-hour ride back to Kansas City. hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I know I'm a very monotone and kind of a boring guy, but I just wanted to like share my trip with you guys. Since I didn't like directly vlog it, I just wanted to like give you guys a look into my life and what I've been doing basically the last week. I know I haven't made a vlog all summer, but this is the closest thing I'm going to get, I guess. Basically, also I haven't done anything exciting, so that's why there's been no vlogs. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully I can make more of them like this. So don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe. That's an old YouTube thing I used to do. I'm not going to say that, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Peace out. So this video is probably like 30 minutes long, but I'm going to extend it by just saying like all the cool merch and merchandise I got. So I'm going to actually use my book because I'm cheating. But I got a Ray shirt and a Ray like beanie hat, so that's pretty cool. I'll pop up some pictures now or whenever. And then I also got the RTX box. Basically it's like a loot crate, but it was all about Rooster Teeth. And inside of that, it came with an RTX snapback, a duffel bag with a rooster and stuff. That was really cool. It was just, you know, you see the rooster and then it had teeth for like where the zipper is. I don't know if I'll use that because it's pretty cool to use. But I got the duffel bag, and then I also got the Surf Jeff water bottle, the one with the little ice cream cone. I'll probably use that. I don't know. It's one of those like smaller size, so it's just nice to look like nice and small and convenient to take around. It also came with the Gus Approved hand sanitizer, the RTX notebooks. Those were pretty cool because you know, it has the red and then the blue side. I also got the lightest red Sharpie. If you don't know what that is, it's a red versus blue joke. Some guy has pink armor and then he calls it lightest red because he doesn't want it to be called pink. Anyways, it also came with the Rooster Teeth patch and then the $1 million butt umbrella hat. That hat's so cool. It's funny to see. And then I also got 3 more shirts. I got the Achievement Hunter shirt, the one that says Player 1 on it. And then I got a Rooster Teeth shirt that's red and it has a little embroidered like rooster teeth, like the little logo. And then I also got a RVB shirt that was pretty cool. The theme of that shirt was pretty cool, and I had to get it. Now, it's going to be awkward wearing these to school. I think people are either going to call me a nerd or not understand what it is on it, but I don't care. It's just I got to express myself some way, and I've loved these guys all my life, and I'm just so glad I finally got to make it out to RTX. Hopefully I can make it out next year. Yeah, that was basically my trip to Austin, Texas. I got to check out the campus, and I got to go to RTX, and I just had such a great time. And I don't know, I'm still kind of like taking it all in, you know, like making sure it's just too surreal, and it was just crazy seeing all these people in real life, you know. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I just kind of rambled on about my trip. I know I'm a very monotone guy and it's very boring, so thanks for sticking with me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully I can make more videos. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Peace out.